Alrighty, good afternoon, everyone. My name is John Daniels. I'm here on behalf of Auburn University and my incredible co-authors, Araoz and Tzu-Ying Chen. And a quick preface, Dr. Ju Lee back at Auburn led all of the modeling and most of the code for this project. So I may not be the best person to answer any of those technical questions, but I'm happy to connect anyone with them afterwards. So I'm here to present our project on optimal defensive movement against counterattacks. So I tried to get a clip of a counterattack to work, and I couldn't. So we'll go to the next slide and I'll just narrate what happened. And basically, it was a quick counter where Kansas City stole it, and I know all y'all know what a counterattack is. So in this situation, looking here, the attackers are stealing the ball, and as you can see, the attacking team here has numbers, plenty of space, and the ball moving forward. This key defender has to choose a route immediately. In transition, those first few steps the defender takes determines whether or not this becomes a shot. So our question here is, in this exact state, what threat minimizing route is still physically feasible? And I hate to break it to you guys, but we did not solve the counterattack for defense. We did not find the one way to solve it. But our whole goal here was just to generate feasible alternatives for a coach to look at. So here's how we built it. So we started off by scanning the incredible tracking data from Skill Corner, and we flagged events that look like a counterattack based on ball position and the amount of defenders present. And from there, we grouped those frames we identified, turned them into 10-second windows, so we're actually modeling a real decision moment, not a random frame. And from there, we're able to generate feasible defensive routes using a hybrid approach, so a heuristic baseline and the diffusion model. And from there, we're able to compare what the defenders actually did versus what the model suggested is available. So we have, realistic suggestions from the same exact situation. And this all feeds into our big picture about what it enables next, turning routes into scaled metrics and extending this idea beyond a counterattack. So before I go over the model, here's how we define a counterattack window. So the ball would be at the opponent's half. The attacking team had to have a clear transition opportunity, and there had to be 4 or less defenders between the ball and goal. And from there, we were able to group those frames in those 10-second windows, and that's what we kept feeding the model over and over again. So before I go over the outputs, here's just the basic idea in English. So the heuristic, as you all know, is the baseline tactical plan, and it's a coach-intuitive rule that can be set for how they want the defenders to react. And it can be tailored towards a staff's defensive preferences. But the diffusion model is a reality check, and it basically generates from what it's learned from the tracking data and all of these, real events that Skill Corner provided. It generates a realistic suggestion of what to do from there. So when you fuse the two together, you get the best of both worlds. You get a coach-driven baseline and a reality check from the diffusion model, so all suggestions are realistic. And now, I'll have to take some time to explain this here, but this is what our model generated. And at first, I was pretty confused on what I was looking at. So, working with me here, these 2 panels are the same counterattack state, and they involve the same key defender. And starting at the green dot in both to the yellow dot, that solid black line is the first 2 seconds of what the defender actually did in both of these panels. And from the yellow dot to the red dot, that black dashed line, that's what the model generates here. And so on the left panel, we have the pure heuristic. On the right, we have the blend with the diffusion. And at first I looked and I was like, well, is there even a difference? And then I guess it's good I didn't notice the main one, because you don't want it to suggest the defender to run across the field away from the ball. So that was good to notice. But I had to circle on the diffusion model and what it suggested. In this one event, the diffusion model suggests, it's just nudging the player a little more inside, maybe to block the ball. And the key point here is that the difference the diffusion model will recommend is always going to be subtle, and that the whole goal here is to, have the coach's preferences, but also what's happening in real time from real data. And our whole goal here was just to turn one event into 2 different alternatives, and that's what we were able to do. So to go over what our model did again, we feed it that 10-second window. It gives us these feasible alternatives that we can choose from, and it's all about what it enables next, turning routes into scalable metrics and just extending this idea beyond counterattacks. So what we took away from this was proof of concept. All we wanted to do here was turn a counterattack state into feasible defensive alternatives. Second is that being optimal is key, and that we didn't solve the counterattack. There's not one way to go about a counterattack, but we're able to generate, once again, plausible alternatives that a coach can look at and build from and react to. And third is that hybrid is important, and that combining the coach's preferences and reality is always important, because theory can beat reality sometimes, but it's always good to have a reality check there. And looking forward into the future, we'd love to extend this beyond counterattacks. It's great that we're able to prove that it works with a counterattack. And we'd love to turn these generated routes into metrics that analysts could track over time. And hopefully this inspires someone out there that's maybe looking for something new to do, and maybe this could lead to some amazing work. So before I finish, just want to thank everyone at Rice University and the ASI Summit for giving me this privilege to present, and for building such a just welcoming environment for people from so many backgrounds. Also Skill Corner for the beautiful data, and Isaac for coming, and Krista for making this whole presentation process a lot more simple for me. So thank you.